Shalom. This week's Torah portion is Bahar Sinai, at or in Har Sinai. And the whole parsha deals with the Shemitah year, the sabbatical year. And in the first passage, when it introduces the laws of Shemitah, the word for Shabbat, in the verb form for rest, is mentioned 7 times. And of course, Shemitah, the sabbatical year, is the 7th year. And we see something very interesting, that all cycles of time in a Jewish context are based on the number of 7. And there are 7 cycles of 7. So we're going to go through them very, very quickly now. So we'll start with the first one is in the account of the 7 days of creation. There are 6 days of creation, and the 7th is the first Shabbat, that God decrees that every 7th day will be the Shabbat. The first one is called the Shabbat of creation, because God rested from all of his work that he did. And this set the stage, the tone of all cycles of time being based on the number 7. So we see in the relevance of days, 7 days is a cycle, a repeating cycle, 6 days of work and the 7th day of rest. In weeks, so we have what we're going through right now is Sfirat HaOmer, counting 7 times 7 weeks. And the 50th day is the holiday of Shavuot, the giving of the Torah on Mount Sinai. So weeks also has a cycle of 7, and that is Sfirat Omer, 7 times 7 weeks. The one that's least known is that there is a cycle of 7 months. And this cycle is in the Torah, the holidays that are described, there are 5 of them. The 3 pilgrimage holidays, Pesach, Shavuot, and Sukkot, along with the 2 holidays, along with Sukkot, of Tishrei, the 7th month, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Hanukkah and Purim and Tu B'Shvat, Lag BaOmer, all of these come later and they're not in the Torah. So all of the holidays mentioned in the Torah happen in the first 7 months of the year. Pesach is the first month, Nisan. Shavuos is in the 3rd month. And Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot, and Shmini Atzeret. I didn't mention Shmini Atzeret, but it's the day after Sukkot. It's a holiday in of itself. They're all happening in the first 7 months. And this cycle also has practicality in Jewish law when talking about vows and returning lost objects. There is an idea of a cycle of 7 based around the pilgrimage holidays. So now we have 7s in days, weeks, and months. And in this week's Torah portion of Bahar, we have the description of Shemitah, that we work the land. This is only in Eretz Yisrael. We work the land for 6 years. And the 7th is the sabbatical year, the Shemitah year, a Shabbat for the land. That's the 4th, which means of the 7 cycles that we're going over, it's the middle one. It's interesting that Bahar is the 32nd Torah portion. 32 equals Lev, heart, the heart of a matter. And so Shemitah, the sabbatical year in a certain way, is the heart of how Jewish society was arranged and organized in ancient days. That just like we know how important Shabbat is, a whole year of rest, the seventh year, became the heart of how Jewish society arranged itself and organized itself. And then we have, in this week's Torah portion, it explains that there's another cycle of 7 times 7 years. And the 50th year is called the Yovel year, the Jubilee year. And this corresponds to the cycle of 7 of weeks that we described. 7 times 7 weeks, and the 50th day is Shavuot. But here it's 7 times 7 sabbatical years, equaling 49 years, and the 50th is the Jubilee year, a year of freedom. And so that is the 5th cycle of 7. The 6th is, according to tradition, this cycle of history will last for 6,000 years. And the 7,000th year, the 7th era, millennium, is what we anticipate as the Messianic era. So here, just like in creation, there's 6 days of work and 7th day of Shabbat, or 6 years of working our fields, agriculture, but the 7th year is a year of rest for the land. Here we have 6,000 years, followed by the 7th millennium, which we are hoping and anticipating will be the Messianic era. So that's the 6th cycle of 7. And the last one is the most, we'll call it mysterious. It's called 49,000 Yovelot, 49,000 Jubilee years. This is a symbolic number which represents that after the Messianic era, the world will transform into what we term the world to come. And that world to come is an infinite world, an eternal world of the soul. And here, 49,000 Yovelot represents like an eternal existence of the soul in a spiritual sense. So here we've gone through 7 cycles of 7, and they're all really coming out of the cycle of creation of 6 days God created the world, however we understand days. And the 7th is Shabbat. And so these are divine cycles that we run our lives according to. And we base our lifestyle, especially Shabbat. Those who are living a traditional Jewish lifestyle, our whole lives revolve around Shabbat. So in this week's Torah portion, we delve into the idea of the sabbatical year, the Shemitah year. But we should know that this number 7, and as we said in the beginning, in the first passage of the portion, it mentions Shabbat 7 times, which is a hint to these 7 cycles of time.